Hey there, Kids Zone team. I want to talk you through one of the new service orders we're going to be doing. This is service structure number 2 for Kids Zone, okay? So I want to walk you through exactly what we're going to be doing with this because this is going to be a service order we're going to be using over the next couple months, and I want to make sure you're familiar and you're comfortable with what's happening. So what you're going to see over here on this screen are a few things that are going to help you out in seeing exactly what to do, okay? So I have a few things that are labeled in here. Whenever you actually look at it, there's probably going to be some more presenter things, and it might even have some more exactly positions of who's doing what. But for right now, and knowing what's going on in a service, it's important that you know a few of these elements. One being over here being the time, the title of what element we're talking about, the lighting cue, the center screen, and the room lights. Now, the lighting cue, that is what's happening on the lighting computer. The room lights, that's on these switches over by the girls' bathroom. So let's walk through what we're going to do with each one of these elements so that you feel comfortable, confident, and ready to go to put on a great Kids Zone experience. So the first thing is our pre-service and free time element. So this one's a lot of fun. We're just putting on the pre-service lighting cue. It's got like some cool stuff that will like show up on the stage. Then we've got a pre-service loop, and you're just going to throw some Spotify music on underneath that. The room lights are going to be staying on the entire time. Now, when we do the countdown to service, there's a countdown lighting cue, countdown video. There's actually a few, so check with your service coordinator if you're doing the 5-minute or the 1-minute version. And then after that, we'll have all the lights be turned off, okay? Then we'll have an intro video. There's an actual cue to start off the intro video. Then whenever a presenter comes on stage, there's a cue for that actually lightens up the stage. On the center screen, there's an actual intro video that's going on. That will like play out for a while. It should go pretty much like the length until we're ready to start small groups. If not, we'll just hit a loop video there. And at the end of that, like presenter like talking, we'll go back into our small groups session 1. We have 2 sessions in our main service. So this is going to be session number 1. When we dismiss to small groups, we will turn all the lights on in the room so that everybody can see everything that's going on. We will have about 8 minutes in that session until your service coordinator calls you all back. Whenever you are coming on your way back, if you're doing tech especially, what you'll see for the transition to rules is that all the lights can be turned off at that moment. That's going to be really important. There is a rules intro video with some construction workers. It's a lot of fun. It takes a little bit of time, so it's a good transition back. You'll want to make sure the lighting cues are all good on that. Whenever you actually start the rules, you'll see there are 4 rule videos and a 5th one that's being added. All these rules have a squirrel theme to them, which are a lot of fun. And the first 4 are very, very normal. These are the same 4 rules that we've done. Stay in your seat, keep your hands and feet to yourself. No talking when somebody else is talking, and keep your name tag on. Rule number 5 is something that we're adding. We're still working on the specific verbiage of it at this time, but essentially it will work as a dance party rule that has everybody get up on their feet and come down front. And this is going to work as a really nice transition because whenever we're saying this of like, we're going to have fun together, like that's a great time for all the kids to come down front, and then we'll have a nice seamless transition into worship. So if you were doing rules, what you might notice in that moment, especially with rule number 5, is a nice handoff of you handing the mic off to somebody else who is coming on stage. And if you are doing worship, of coming on stage once the music and lights start getting very fun. We want to make that transition very nice, though, not nobody on stage and wondering what's happening next. So with worship, we will have a fast song, a slow song, a short prayer moment, and then another fast song. At the end of worship, if you're presenting, what you'll say is something very simple along the lines of, all right, everybody, you can go back to your seats and pay attention to the screen. And the room will get very dark in that moment, but there's a very fun video with a bunch of doors that show up, and it kind of keeps going and slows down the moment a little bit, but will then show up with a loop of a bunch of doors. This is very similar to what we've done in the past with water balloons, virtual water balloons, but there's 4 doors that will show up. So typically the presenter doing announcements will come out and explain what's going on. There will be 4 doors, a blue, green, yellow, and red door. What we encourage the kids to do at that moment is to yell out which door they want to have open. So as you can see, we are not like labeling this out ahead of time of we're going to go blue, green. Like we are waiting to see exactly what presenter calls out which door to open. Okay. Now there will be 4 announcements, each door corresponding to a different announcement. Birthdays will always be the first one. The scripture verse will always be the last one, unless there's some other significant announcement that would kick either one of those. After that, at the end of announcements, there's a transition of somebody saying, all right, guys, well, we have some more fun stuff planned, so let's check out what's next. The room will go dark again. There's a short little video. There's actually 2 different videos for a game intro if we need a long one, depending on the setup. But we will keep the room as dark as we need to until we are ready to actually start the game with the presenter actually coming up to the stage, saying, okay, guys, we are ready to play a game. There will be a game setup of saying, okay, guys, here's exactly how this game works. Also picking the kids and showing them how to do it. That cue is the game loop. There is a game start cue. This is some more fun lights. As soon as there's a countdown that says go or somebody on stage says that they can start, that's whenever you want to hit that lighting cue. And at the very end, there is a game winner. There are cues for boys and girls winning for either the boys team or the girls team. And then there is a lighting cue for the Dice of Destiny. Now, at the end of that game, if you're presenting, you'll say, all right, we're going to go into our story now, so everybody please pay attention to the screen. It will either be an intro video from the Orange curriculum, or it will be the just basic one that we have that explains the secret word. Now, after that video is done, the lights will come back on. The story intro lighting cue brings it very dark in the room. For the lesson, we'll bring the lights up. And then at the end of the lesson, it will either go directly to small groups, or it will go to the outro video corresponding to the Orange curriculum. You'll see that in ProPresenter, and you can always ask your service coordinator which one you're doing that day. Whenever we go back to small group session 2, you can see room lights. We have a cue over here to turn all the lights back on. Whenever we have kids come back is whenever we have our secret word. Whenever everybody comes back, all the lights should be turned off again then. You'll see there's a few cues there of a loop for the secret word video, no lighting cue, and a yes lighting cue. So just match those up. If you're hitting the no video, try to hit the no lighting cue at the same time. And whenever you're hitting the yes one, you can hit the yes one at the same time. They pretty much show up immediately of which one is which. At the very end, we'll have a countdown. We tried to shorten it so it wasn't a lot of awkward standing up there. But it will require you to be really excited or really energetic at the end of whether or not the boys won or the girls won. And depending on which video is cued first, if it's boys win, then be ready to match up the boys lighting cue. Don't jump on that early, otherwise it'll completely give it away. Wait until the screen actually says boys win and then throw up the lighting cue. At the very end, there's a post-service lighting cue. And all the lights, all the room lights will be able to be turned back on because parents will be picking them up. Post-service will be a few things. It will either be a game, it will be free time, or a movie. It will be one of those 3 things, so make sure you check with your service coordinator as to which one it is. Don't just assume, make sure you ask because it will affect some other things. So that is the whole rundown of the Kid Zone Service Structure 2 on exactly what's going on. So I hope you feel more prepared and you feel comfortable about what's going on with this service. And you feel ready to create an amazing experience at Kid Zone.